Disney has released the first 3 episodes to the last season of The Bad Batch, and I have to admit that I was really impressed by them. The Season 3 premiere focuses on Omega's time confined to the research facility on Tantiss. The second episode follows Hunter and Wrecker as they seek to uncover clues about Omega's whereabouts, and the third episode follows Omega and Crosshair as they hatch a daring plan to escape their imprisonment on Tantiss. So these episodes do form a perfect arc together, as they show us how isolated the Bad Batch members have been since the events of Season 2. But even though the group is broken up, even though they have been separated from each other, even though they all experienced personal loss, they haven't given up hope. And I really liked seeing that hope shine through in this arc. Because in every episode so far, we see our characters enduring tasks that are mundane, tedious, monotonous, desperate, dangerous, and downright soul-crushing, and yet their spirit, their drive to reunite and save one another, has not been destroyed. And sure, that is an easy message to include in a children's cartoon, but that doesn't take away from the dark tone or mature themes or slow-burning pace of these episodes, which all felt impressively adult for a kid's show. Plus, it's clear that these characters have all changed in one way or another since the events of Season 1. Omega is still a hopeful person, but in a less naive and idealistic way, and more in a manner that fills her with conviction. Hunter is still a leader, but he has become increasingly more desperate in his attempts to find Omega. He's willing to put himself in mortal danger and make plans without waiting for backup because he knows how dire her situation can be. Wrecker is still Wrecker, but he does seem a little less playful since he has to be a bit more responsible for Hunter's own sake. And Crosshair is just a completely broken man who has no idea where he belongs since he betrayed his brothers and disobeyed his commands as a soldier. So even though some developmental details may be small or subtle, I do like seeing how these characters have grown over time. But I especially loved getting to see Emperor Palpatine again, because as an original trilogy fan, I always wanted to know what the Emperor was up to before and during the events of the original trilogy. And now I think these episodes make it clear that he was obsessed with Operation Necromancy. To have a contingency plan in place that would ensure the legacy of his empire even in the event of his death, which would mean that he could finally cheat death and achieve immortality. And that is, of course, the ultimate goal of any Sith Lord. And I think that does provide a satisfying explanation as to where the Emperor is during the original trilogy, but some fans may take issue with the fact that these story threads do connect back to the rise of Skywalker, because certain fans like to pretend that the sequel trilogy isn't canon, and that any connection to those movies are automatically bad, but I don't think this way. Especially since the story being told in The Bad Batch is satisfying in its own right, and seeing how the story connects back to the bigger picture is also quite satisfying. But that is my opinion, at least. Regardless, I thought these 3 episodes were really damn good, and I hope that the rest of the season can turn out to be just as good. So I cannot wait to see the next episode of The Bad Batch when it comes out on Wednesday.